from the East Coast and the sunny shores of South Carolina. Welcome to Dark Reality. We'll be discussing the unknown, from cryptoids to conspiracy theories and unusual happenings. I'm your host, John Ringo. Welcome to Dark Realities. Good evening and welcome to Dark Reality. Tonight we'll be speaking of werewolves. The werewolf is a mythological animal and the subject of many stories throughout the world and more than a few nightmares. Throughout the world and more than a few legends ago, people who morph into vicious, powerful wolves. And then there are others that are a mutant combination of human and wolf, but all are bloodthirsty beasts who cannot control their lust for killing people and other animals. Some legends, it's unclear exactly when and where the werewolf legends originated. Some scholars believe the werewolf made its debut in the epic story of Gilgamesh, the eldest known Western prose, when Gilgamesh jilted a potential lover because she had turned her previous mate into a wolf. Werewolves made another early appearance in Greek mythology with the legend of Lycan. According to the legend, Lycan, the son of Pelagus, angered the god Zeus when he served him a meal made from the remains of a sacrificed boy. As punishment, the enraged Zeus turned Lycan and his son into wolves. Werewolves also emerged in early Nordic folklore. The saga of Volsungs tells the story of a father and son who discovered wolf pelts that had the power to turn people into wolves for 10 days. The father-son duo donned the pelts, transformed into wolves, and went on a killing rampage in the forest. Their rampage ended when the father attacked his son, causing a lethal wound. The son only survived because a kind of raven gave the father a leaf with healing powers. Infamous werewolves. Many so-called werewolves from centuries ago were in fact serial killers, and France had its fair share. In 1521, Frenchmen Pierre Bugat and Michel Verdun allegedly swore allegiance to the devil and claimed to have an ointment that turned them into wolves. After confessing to brutal murders of several children, they were both burned to death at the stake. Giles Garner, known as the Werewolf of Dole, was another 16th century Frenchman who claimed to fame was also an ointment with wolf morphing abilities. As a wolf, he viciously killed children and ate them. He too was burned to death at the stake for his monstrous crimes. Whether Bugot, Verdun, or Garnier were mentally ill, acted until the influence of a hallucinogenic substance, or were simply cold-blooded killers is up for debate. But it likely didn't matter to superstitions Europeans during the 16th century. To them, such heinous crimes could only be committed by a horrific beast, such as the werewolf. In one case, the Bedburg werewolf, Pete Stubel, a wealthy 15th century farmer in Bedburg, Germany, may be the most notorious werewolf of them all. According to folklore, he turned into a wolf-like creature at night and devoured many citizens of Bedburg. Peter was eventually blamed for the gruesome killings after being cornered by hunters who claimed they saw him shapeshift from wolf to human form. He experienced a grisly execution after confessing under torture to savagely killing animals, men, women, and children, and eating their remains. He also declared he owned an enchanted belt that gave him the power to transform into a wolf at will. Not surprisingly, the belt was never found. Peter guilt is controversial since some people believe he wasn't the killer, but the victim of a political witch hunt, or perhaps a werewolf hunt. Either way, the circumstances surrounding his life and death stoked rampant fears at the time of the werewolves were on the loose. Some believe the werewolf is a shapeshifter, and some legends maintain werewolves shapeshifted at will due to a curse. Others state they transform with the help of an enchanted sash or a cloak made of wolf pelt. Still others claim people became wolves after being scratched or bit by a werewolf. In many werewolf stories, a person only turns into a wolf when there's a full moon, and that this theory may not be far-fetched. According to the study, which was conducted at the Australia's Cavalry Master Newcastle Hospital, a full moon brings out the beast in many humans. The study found that of the 91 violent acute behaviors incidents in the hospital between August 2008 and July 2009, 23% happened during the full moon. Patients attacked staff and displayed wolf-like behaviors such as biting, spitting, and scratching. Although many were under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time, it's unclear why they became intensely violent when the moon was full. Still, one must ask themselves, are werewolves real? The werewolf phenomenon may have a medical explanation. In 1725, Peter the wild boy was found wandering naked on all fours throughout a German forest. Many thought he was a werewolf, or at least raised by wolves. Peter ate with his hands and couldn't speak. He was eventually adopted by the courts of King George the First and King George the Second, and lived out his days as their pet in England. Research has shown Peter likely had Pitt-Hopkins syndrome, a condition discovered in 1978 that causes lack of speech, seizures, distinct facial features, difficulty breathing, and intellectual changes and challenges. Other medical conditions that may have encouraged werewolf mania throughout the history are lycanthropy, a rare physiological condition that causes people to believe they're changing into a wolf or another animal. Food poisoning is another. Hypertrichinosis, a rare genetic disorder causing excessive hair growth. And of course, rabies. Hallucinations, possibly caused by hallucinogenic herbs found in the woods or the forest. Throughout the centuries, people have used werewolves and other mythical beasts to explain the unexplainable. In modern times, however, most believe werewolves are nothing more than pop culture, horror icons made famous thanks to Hollywood's 1941 flick, The Wolfman. Still, werewolves have a cult following. Werewolf sightings are reported each year, and werewolf legends will likely continue to haunt the dreams of people throughout the world. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Dark Reality. Tell me what you think. Hit that like button. Until next time.